Well, I'm going to put out this video for informational purposes and just a little bit of common sense thought. I know there's that mythical creature they call the Jersey Devil, and the sports teams are named the New Jersey Devils after it. And this is a depiction. I think this is a drawing or something of the Jersey Devil. I don't think that's a real photo. And a lot of people say, well, they've seen pictures sometimes, but it was explained away. I've seen a picture where it was flying in the air one time, and they said it was. But with today's modern photography, you would think maybe they faked it. But I looked into this story, and I think it's real. But I came across something else, and I'll show it to you towards the end of this video. There was in the Civil War. It was unusual Civil War pictures, and I was looking at some of them, and I said, "Whoa." They weren't saying this was the Jersey Devil, but there's another thing in the hills of Maryland and Virginia, well outside the D.C. area. There's forest out there, like there's national forest, I think. They have a thing called the Snallygaster, and actually, they even have a Snallygaster. I think it's a beer fest or something in Washington D.C. named after this quote-unquote mythical beast. And Snallygaster really comes from the German words Schnellgast, which means quick ghost. And it looks a lot like what you would say the Jersey Devil would be, like a horse's head, large wing spread, all that type of stuff. And you're always seeing these caricatures and depictions of it in drawings, and you're never really seeing a real picture. And the pictures that come out today, you can say, well, maybe they're fakes. Now, I saw something recently, was in the last couple of years that I think it happened, that people caught on a webcam or a trail cam and outlining this beast, and they have it on a blog, right? But people would think it's just a bunch of sensationalism and stuff. Well, what I came across is unusual photos from the Civil War, or the war between the states. Here's some Union soldiers, and they're standing upon this beast, and you're like, I really couldn't make out what the hell this was, but you could see it looks like, I don't know, something laying down there. It's like real long. Well, this is what it was. It was it's a large bird with the point. If you go back to it again, you can see that's the back of the point of the head. There's the beak. That's the wing spread down there on the ground. Well, this was just considered an unusual photo from the war between the states era 1861 to 1865. But, to me, this is documented proof because, they did not, this, it's like, it's there. It's there. So whatever the hell this is, it probably exists. Probably the Jersey Devil and the Snallygaster are one and the same, although the descriptions are a little bit different. But one of the things that got me about the eyewitness photo, testimonies back in the day when they saw the Jersey Devil, there'd be like 100 people in a trolley car that saw the Jersey Devil at the same time. And there was also people with impeccable reputations that said they saw the same thing. That they're all like, sometimes you can't trust eyewitness testimony, but the physical evidence was footprints on rooftops in the snow, where you couldn't fake that back 100 years ago with a hovercraft or something and landed in the snow or something and caused it to jump from one rooftop to the other rooftop, and trackers saying the prints were totally different from what they saw. I mean, I guess you could fake a footprint in the snow on the ground somehow with stilts, but how would you do that on a rooftop and jump from another rooftop? But here's a picture from the 1861 to 1865 era. To me, it really, it clinches it down that this exists. Now, today, in today's day and age, if you did not have photo evidence or some kind of physical evidence, and you told somebody that you saw this thing, they would probably give you psych meds. I'm serious, they would. Even if it's, true as a heart attack or something like that, it's absolutely 100% true. It's like, You know, you'd have to tell them, hey, it's swamp gas or something. I don't know what you'd have to say, but I found it interesting because this was like I forgot where I found this. It was unusual photographs from the Civil War period, and at first when I saw it was this thing laying down, and I was like, what the hell is this damn thing? But then I realized when I was going through the thing, and I said, there it is. That's what it is laying down. That was the wing spread, and you could see the big head. And the first thing in my mind that associated like was the Jersey Devil. They said it had a head like a horse's head. Now, I guess you can look at this and you could say, well, if you're looking at it from the right angle, maybe you're looking at it from the front, maybe it looks like a horse's head because it's a long head. And it had the wingspan. And you know this thing's probably got some freaking claws for feet or whatever, hoofs. I think it has hoofs and talons for, you know, whatever to grab onto stuff. It's probably like your typical damn bird, you know. So this might be more of an accurate, even though this is a drawing, you start looking at the real picture, it's pretty damn accurate. It's pretty damn accurate. What's weird is that you would think with all the electronic technology we got today that they would find this. And there was a time in when Teddy Roosevelt was president in the late 1800s, when word was getting out about the Snallygaster. Now I know that's a weird term, but it's like the English changed the word Schnellgast, which means quick ghost, in German, which was, you know, the German immigrants called it Schnellgast, quick ghost. It was always because this thing must have been fast with a wing spread like that. And I'm sure it's still around. Who the hell knows where the hell it is? I mean, you know, there's caves that exist in the mountains of outside of Virginia and Maryland. You know, it could go in there. I don't know. Maybe it's like a bat or something. I don't know. But as far as it being a fable, you know, those two pictures from the Civil War or the War Between the States era, to me that pretty much clinches it. Because that's something whereby, you know, they couldn't be fake. They didn't know how to fake photographs back then. And actually, if you look at the photograph real careful, it's like, you know, I was blowing it up and I was thinking maybe somebody posted something that was fake and stuff. But they weren't trying to say, they were just saying it was unusual photos from the 1861 to 1865 war time. And, you know, when I'm blowing it up, I mean, I'm saying if it's a fake, it's damn good. I mean, I don't think it is, though, to tell you the truth. I don't think it is. It was presented as highly unusual photographs from the Civil War era, or the War Between the States. Not presented as the Jersey Devil or the Snallygaster, but that was the first thing that came in my mind, because I did a video on the Jersey Devil, and I looked into that, you know, the testimonies, and it's got too many people saw it at the same time for it to freaking say it's just a bunch of BS. I'm not worried about it or nothing. And of course I put out a video about the Snallygaster versus Trump because I figured there's all these other conspiracy theories out there, and Trump has got he's fighting all the bad guys or something in Washington, whatever the hell he's doing, I guess. So the Snallygaster is this fabled beast that's outside of Washington, D.C. in the hills. And they do have a Snallygaster, I think, beer fest every year. And, you know, they get plastered and stuff. It's all upon this quote-unquote mythical beast. I'm saying quote-unquote mythical beast because it's not mythical. It's real. It's just amazing that they just couldn't ever get one of these things, because even at the time when there was all these sightings, Teddy Roosevelt said he was thinking about hunting for it, and the Smithsonian actually put a reward. This is many years ago, like over 100-something years ago, out the Smithsonian Institute to capture it or have the skeletal remains of it. And I think at one point in time there was skeletal remains of something that was very unusual that was found. that could have been a Jersey Devil. It was like a large bird. So, to me, this is photographic evidence right there. So, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's real, to tell you the truth, but, if you see one and if you don't have your camera with you, you're probably better off saying you never saw one, because in today's day and age, they would say you're crazy or some shit and probably give you meds or something. Who the hell knows? And that wouldn't be cool. But these are the kind of things that people don't want to believe. That's really what it comes down to. That's really what it is. These are the kind of things that people don't want to believe. Most people. Now, me, I look at it like, well, that's pretty interesting. That's what I look at it. It's not like I want to believe it or not believe it. I look at it like I'm looking at it objectively, and I'm saying, wow, that could very well be explaining why there's the sightings of the Snallygaster, quick ghost, whatever you want to call it, and the Jersey Devil. Because they both have common attributes in a description. It might be this damn critter, which probably survived from the prehistoric times. And to tell you the truth, there's religious people that show that dinosaurs and things were not as ancient as people think. And if you go, I know this is going to get real controversial, but the flood with Noah is probably, I say it's 100% real. Not because I'm a religious nut and I believe every word in the Bible, but I'm realizing the Bible's probably far more accurate than people give it credit for, even the unusual things, because there's a lot of documented physical scientific evidence to show that it's accurate. And if there was a flood that destroyed most living things on this earth, as the Bible depicts, well, that might explain that, mankind was probably living alongside of unusual animals that maybe a few of them survive to this day, but they're not necessarily. It's just freaky that people don't see this often. If this damn thing's around, I mean, if it's flying someplace, you would think a load of people would see it, but who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? But then again, maybe our government does know about these things, and you know how the major media is. They just cherry pick. Like, you'll never see this story on the major media. Like what I'm telling you today, right now. And it's like, I can't prove this. This is from like 100-something years ago. But when I started looking at all the eyewitness testimonies and stuff of the Snallygaster that was from Maryland, Virginia, and also the Jersey Devil from the Pine Barrens of Jersey, and I saw this picture later on is listed as unusual pictures from the Civil War era, the War of 1861-1865. I just made the association. I said, wow. I mean, is that crazy to make that association? No, not at all. Because there's actual photographic evidence. I know somebody will say somebody photoshopped this and posted it as unusual pictures from the Civil War era. I don't think so. I don't think so. To tell you the truth. This is the other one where I couldn't make out what the hell this stupid thing was. I thought it was like a buffalo or some shit, or Cape buff. I thought those are horns or some shit of like an African Cape buffalo or something. That's what I thought it was. But then I realized it's this thing. That's the wings. I couldn't figure out. I thought this was like a tail or some shit. I thought this was dirt over here. I didn't realize what this was. That's the wings. Anyway. Pretty wild, man. Pretty wild. But if you saw something like this and you told people about it, they'd say you're nuts. They'd say you're nuts today, tell you the truth. They would. They would. And I don't know. You better make sure you have your camera if you ever see some weird shit, because if these guys were all making testimonies, they saw this thing, and these guys were making testimonies, they saw this thing. You'd be looking at it back, reading it 100-something years ago, and say, man, those guys are probably just drunk or some shit, smoking wacky weed way back when. But no, they shot the damn thing, and they're taking a picture of it with, they got a couple dogs over here. There's a dog over here. There's a dog over here. That's pretty cool, man. You could tell these aren't millennials, man. Hey, look at that thing. Let's shoot it and bring it down. Hey, let's pick it up, take a picture. You know? What is that thing? I don't know. Let's shoot it. Anyway, over and out.